Yes, a very good morning to everyone. I hope you guys are doing amazing. I hope you had a beautiful start of the week from your different locations. And I hope we are ready for our today's market snapshot to see what opportunities the market will be availing for us. So first and foremost, I'll just like to make some quick announcements. If you're in Uganda, or for those of you who are in Uganda, tomorrow we shall be having our financial literacy event at Cavendish University. So if you're out there, we have amazing panelists who can talk about savings, budgeting, and of course, how to start up and scale up a brand particularly. So you do not want to miss it out. Invite your friends to come over, invite everyone who you believe this information will be very crucial to. And I believe it will be something very, very impactful to anybody out there who is willing to grow financially in all aspects. So on the other hand, in Tanzania, on the 28th, we have a masterclass. It will be spearheaded by Prudence Maximilian and then Orkakawa Taifa. And Robert will be there as well to give you a lot of insights that can be beneficial to you guys. So please make sure you sign up. The links are in the bios. Look for the FX Special link in bio, and you'll find all those events pinned up for you. Now, first and foremost, I would like to pass a risk disclaimer that everything shared here today is not financial advice, but you can be able to use it to operate in your trading activities and give you some insights definitely on the market as well. So that being said, we are going to be kicking off with our session for the day in just about a minute. And of course, as we all know, the very first step we always want to take is to first look at our trading calendar. Now, even if you do not trade news, this is very, very important as it keeps to give you what the market may have in terms of volatility, when not to be in the market, or when to hopefully be able to be out of certain specific pairs in case you're looking at certain uncertainties. And this is very crucial, especially in times like this when there's geopolitical tension. You want to be watching what's happening on the breaking news side, and as well, of course, the what fundamentals will be coming out. Today is Tuesday, June 24th, and of course, as you can see on my Forex Factory over here, I think the main news events we shall have a speech from the Governor Bailey of the Bank of England. I will be speaking at about 11 a.m. that I believe has just started right now. So pound pairs expect some kind of volatility. If the governor is going to sound a bit hawkish or bearish, or it's going to give us insights on the data that's going to that they're expecting or that they are watching. So you want to be careful trading the pound from now to the New York session. Of course, shall have the ECB Bank, sorry, uh, President speaking out later Lagarde at about 4 p.m. Then I shall have another speech by Governor Bailey. So we have all the reports coming out from Europe today. So expect some volatility throughout European pairs, both the pound and the euro through the day. On the other hand, on the US dollar side, we do have Fed Chairman Powell who coming to give a testimony, basically on the data they are giving out and on why they definitely decided to hold prices. And of course, when he's testifying majorly to the Senate as well, because they need to keep track of what the Fed is doing, however much it's an independent body. So now what you can do, you can look at the highlighted times. You have 11 a.m. May not be so much, but some kind of volatility or what is peaks may give us direction for the rest of the day. Then importantly, we have the card CPI, and that will be the major main event of the day, and it will be happening at 3:30 p.m. So at 3:30 p.m., that's in the New York session. You want to be careful when you're trading pairs like a USD card, GBP card, NZD card, Canadian pairs in general. And when it comes to commodities, you want to be very, very careful when you're trading US oil, because you know that the correlation between a USD card and US oil is very, very crucial. So just look at another some movers that may happen through the day or some headlines that may come through the day. We can see European shares jump over 1%, the stocks 50 jumped 1.7%, and the stocks 600 added 1.1% on Tuesday after President Trump announced a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Now, that's why I'm mentioning in times like this, you want to be very skeptical of what's happening, whether you trade fundamentals or not. You want to just see what's happening. So right now, if the European players are confident, uh, I think we have seen some strength in the euro in the previous days, and of course, it can continue being strong based on this headline. If the ceasefire between Israel and Iran happens to be successful. Uh, You can see the ceasefire is both impacting also the Asian markets. As you can see, we have China stocks climb as ceasefire eases geopolitical tensions, which becomes beautiful, so the markets can easily start going back into normal, since we know that Trump already hinted on a deal between China and the USA. So probably in the next 1 2 months, we can expect the markets um, to go on back to normal, especially coming from the tariff wars that were happening earlier in the past 2 quarters. All right. So what other news event do you think we can have in here? So now this is what happens. Gold slides amid Israel-Iran ceasefire. So gold fell more than 1% to around 3,320 per ounce on Tuesday, hovering near the 2 week low as a ceasefire between Israel and Iran reduced. Now, this is very, very important. Very many times when you're looking at fundamentalists, we have been, okay, many of them have come to it as crumb work, even traders, that when there's geopolitical tension, bombs, what not have you, gold just has to buy. But if you've noticed something very peculiar in the past 2 weeks, starting from last Monday, because that was probably almost the first week when Israel and Iran intensified the wars, gold was just selling. Now, what does that show you? That it's not a must that happens by default that gold must be a safe haven. Particularly, it depends on what countries are fighting. So we all understand that there are no American interests that had been caught up. No American bases had been bombed. No American major facilities had been bombed in Israel. That means there was no reason for investors to run to a safe haven at that particular moment. Now, that's very, very important in terms like this. You need to know that when the investors actually run to a safe haven, when some of their major investment opportunities have been probably caught up in that kind of war. For example, if let's say Iran's ports for oil had been hit, then definitely they would expect some kind of tension to happen there. So, guys, just a second. Sorry about that short inconvenience. It was kind of an emergency. All right. So, as I was saying, usually you want to pay attention to who has been bombed, how important are they to the investors. For this case, we shall look at majorly the US dollar investors and the European investors. If some of their major things like Iran has a lot of oil and probably some ports have been hit, that's when you can now expect them to run and try to start investing in the safe haven. So it's not by default that when someone throws a bomb, it's not a must that you should just buy gold immediately. Sometimes they'll have what they call damage assessment to see what major supply, what major industry has been hit. If none has been hit in terms of major industries, then they have no reason running to a safe haven. Now, that's very, very important. So, having said that, we don't have a lot of more activity coming up on this side. I am going to go down and we shall look at our technical analysis as to where the most of the money may look opportunities will be coming from through the day. So in a bit, I'm going to be sharing my MT5. Then you can look at what market opportunities the market will be offering today. Another very crucial thing that people should understand in times like this is that we want to be looking at things like risk management, because right now the market can give and take at any one given time. So you want to be very, very careful with what risk you're exposing your accounts to, with what lot sizes you're using based on your account size. Right now is the time that you need to be very, very important. Very, 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 how would I call it? The English had disappeared. So I don't know Swahili for Luganda, kuba mwegendereza. English, I'll be very careful. Okay, let's say careful on how you're risking and what you're exposing your accounts to. So I'll be sharing my MT5 in just a second. All right, here we go. In the meantime, if you have any questions at all, kindly put them down in the comment section. Then in the last session through the day, we shall be able to look through those and try to get them answered as well. In the meantime, if you don't have an FX Spacer account, kindly go ahead and check in the bio or I think it's a description for the live. You'll be able to have an account. And of course, when you sign up, an account manager will reach out to you and find out how best we as FX Spacer can be able to assist you in your trading journey. Now, of course, with me here, as usual, we start with a dollar index. As I mentioned last time, why we start with the dollar index is because uh, many of us tend to trade US dollar pairs, and usually when you have the dollar index in context, you're able to have a variety of dollar pairs that you can be able to run to and look for trading opportunities with a general direction in bias. So as you can see, the dollar itself is not being amazing ever since Trump actually got involved in the Iran-Israel war, because of course all investors are expecting some kind of backfire from Iran. And as you saw yesterday, Iran actually bombed one of their bases in Qatar, but Trump says the damage was not significant and it was a failed attack. So as far as that Iran goes with Israel, then there you'd expect the dollar to continue tanking or dropping to the downside. But as you've seen the headline from about 30 minutes ago, Trump has reannounced that Iran and Israel have come and agreed to a ceasefire. So if that's the case, I wouldn't expect the dollar to go any lower than this, any lower than this. And what I believe is that from Powell's testimony, he may go ahead to emphasize why they have no need to go ahead and cut rates yet, because their economy is actually doing, the data not so bad yet in America, so the data is pretty good for them. So if it comes and boosts confidence in that, then we can go ahead and see the dollar probably trying to recover. And as we can see here, there will be some kind of there is kind of candlestick. Many of you call them dodgy candlesticks. For me, it's an area of interest. It shows an area where price tried to go down, but the sellers are overpowered. So it becomes an area of interest. So I'll be going down. This is a daily time frame. I'll be going down to the 4-hour time frame just to look at what happened. So I'll try to align this so much. Definitely when Powell comes in, I'll want to see how he sounds. If he's giving our encouragement to investors that the data is not yet so bad for them to take a rational decision, probably to go ahead and cut rates as Trump wants, then we shall see the dollar trying to recover. But we have seen that bearishness coming from American involvement in the Iran-Israel conflict, because of course now investors were skeptical on what Iran is going to do in terms of a backfire. So now this is the area I'll be watching particularly to probably hold price, so I can refine that, because the supply level I have here has been consumed, and this pressure from upside, we call it momentum, is pretty strong, and usually tends to take out these areas. On the contrary, just in case price does not do that, what would be the other best possible areas to take up? So currently, as we can see here, there is this kind of resistance level. Let me just mark it out. There's kind of an intermediate resistance level here. So if price happens to break above that, then I would expect a slight retracement. Then price can definitely try to push to the upside and recover, provided everything goes as planned. But just in case American involvement or the ceasefire doesn't hold, then we are going to see the dollar continuing to tank, because investors will be definitely uncertain on what Iran is going to target next and if it will be successful. So investors will work entirely on speculation, what they expect to come out of the market or out of geopolitical tensions. Then they get to invest in either the dollar bonds or in a safe haven asset like gold. So for this, we're going to be watching those areas. If we have any breaks below this white line over here that you can see definitely in a daily time frame, let me try to get this over here. Let's zoom this in. Okay. So if we get to have any kind of break below these areas, it will be so bad for the dollar. So you can probably see the dollar tanking more. That's in case the ceasefire doesn't hold and the tensions continue rising. On the other hand, we can now go down to some of the dollar pairs, and I think we shall start off with probably a GBP, or let's see, GBP USD. So as you all know, we're having some speeches coming in. So I think I'll use the white template. It's much more easier to see. So let's go down to the daily time frame and try to have something. So we saw a breakout to the downside, then price pushed to the upside. Didn't quite get to our level over here. This was from our last week's analysis. We did have a sell zone that provided us very beautiful sells that we had come up with last week. As you can see, price able to hover back, break below here, hover back, then give us sells. Failed to close below this area, showing no intentions to go any further. Then we are seeing the push going to the upside. And as I mentioned earlier in today's stream, I did tell you guys that right now, the fact that, sorry, okay, let's see, we had these sales coming in from the supply level. Oh, as I was saying that the ceasefire may go ahead to boost investors to try and reinvest back in the European stocks and pound stocks. So I mentioned that we have been seeing this strength coming in the past from yesterday to today. We have been seeing that kind of strength coming in EU and GU. Basically, if you look at the timing from yesterday evening when Trump announced a first ceasefire that later on Iran breached in the middle of the night, for us in Africa. Iran was able to breach the first one. Though 30 minutes ago, Trump has been able to announce that they have come to terms with another ceasefire. Hopefully it holds. Then we can still see this pair continue pushing bullish as well. On the other hand, it's also going to depend a lot on what the governors for the European nations have what to say, because we have both the ECB and the BOE speaking today consecutively. So if they come out with very good data in terms of policies and market data in terms of inflation and unemployment, then you can be able to. Right now, what you can see is that right now GU is around we had a previous consolidation area here, which is kind of like a supply zone. So this area becomes a very hard area to break. But if price breaks above this area, then we can see it push the upside. On the contrary, if Trump's ceasefire is successful, then we can see the dollar pick up some strength, as we have seen on the DXY. It's in a possible buying area right now as we speak. And just what we would like to see is if we can get alignment from the fundamentals. Definitely we shall be having a Powell speaking if he's very positive with that. And then of course the ceasefire happens to yield, or investors get more confidence in the ceasefire, we are going to see the dollar get strong. And when it gets strong, we all know that GU will have to go to the downside, given the fact that the dollar is actually a more important pair in terms of global trade. So we can be able to see that coming in from there. We're in a major area of selling. So on the other hand, we are going to look at how we can come up with intraday opportunities, just in case what happens, because this is a 4-hour time frame. It may feel to be a bit high. We can see now this QM level, or the left shoulder, has been tapped into. So it's an area we really want to see a hold price. But what would be the conditions, since we are seeing a lot of bullishness coming in from GU? So in order for us to look for those possible sales from that area, we would really like to see price give us something of the nature. So this is, I'll change the color of this. Let me just change the color of my trend line. Let's have it black. So in order for us to look for the best selling opportunities, definitely, like let's say in the New York session, we really love to see price break below this area here, and then possibly a push to the downside, taking out these lows, and definitely trying to come down all the way this side to try and fill up this imbalance. That would be a very nice move through that day. But that's only if price happens to break here. Currently, we are seeing a very strong rejection from this demand level over here. We're seeing a very strong rejection from that 30-minute demand level, that in case may push price above this. Would like to see if there are any demand levels price may want to mitigate right above that. So on my left hand side, I don't seem to see any much demand level. That means if price breaks to the upside, we would like to see it go and take out the previous highs we had just mentioned. And just try to see this on this other hand. All right, so we do have an order block at the extreme levels over here that price may definitely want to buy to. Okay, we did see some price come and tap into it, though didn't fully mitigate it. So that could be the next possible target, because price may want to come and fully consume that particular demand supply level or order block, depending on what you would like to call it, or what you would love to call it particularly. So you can see that pressure is coming in and it's very, very high to the upside. So a break above these highs will mean price will go to these extreme levels. And if price happens to break below this low, then you can look for those bearish moves to the downside. So those are the areas of interest we'd be watching on GU. And hopefully at the DXY turns to the upside, that can push GU to the downside. If GU keeps buying, definitely expect the dollar to keep tanking, because that's inverse correlation with the dollar. Then the GBP USD and Euro US dollar as well. So having seen GBP USD, so for guys who are a bit more advanced in trading and more sophisticated, they tend to refer this as a cable. So when you hear someone mentioning cable, they're basically referring to GBP USD. Then of course, let's go now to the other pair, which is Euro USD, that are the so-called elites tend to call fiber. So when you hear fiber, it's Euro USD. When you hear cable, it's GBP USD. So when I come to Euro USD, we can see the bullish momentum similarly as we are seeing it on on GBP USD. As I've mentioned earlier, the ceasefire gave European investors some confidence. So right now what you're looking for is probably if the US dollar investors get some confidence as well, to try and revive their currency, because it's not looking pretty good. It's going to some previous lows that if it breaks below, it will be so bad. So right now in the daily time frame, we do have these highs that, of course, if the dollar fails to get strength, or Powell fails to convince the American people that the economy is doing well, they need to cut rates and whatsoever, we may see GU continuing to buy to the upside, provided, of course, the speeches that come out of Europe today or out of the Eurozone today are very positive. Then you can see price go ahead, break to the upside. What we can see right now is that there's very strong bullish momentum coming in from a previous demand level on the daily time frame that you could see over here to just a tap in, and then price start pushing to the upside. So yesterday was a very, very bullish day, as you can see. We did have that gap down that came in at the open, definitely because of what was happening in the Middle East over the weekend and America's involvement. We did see that kind of push the downside in market open yesterday, and we had a very bullish day. So now going down to the 4 hour, let's try to see what could possibly come in. So we can start this candle, try to push the downside, swept out the previous high, try to push the downside. When you look at this time frame, there's really nothing much for price that price can use to continue pushing to the downside. So if price is turn bullish, it's definitely going to take out these highs, that or nothing else. There's nothing more to target below there. But as I said, we do have some anticipation of bears coming in on these pairs because we expect some dollar strength, especially with Trump coming to a milestone with this ceasefire. And then also definitely if Powell comes to re-energize the American investors, then probably if that happens, we can want to see a 4 hour candle close bearish. If it closes bearish, definitely we can see that some sellers may come in to push to the downside. So our areas of interest to the downside will be two. We have this area over here. We call this a resistance support flip because as of course resistance becomes support. Price can definitely want to target this area. And remember with these zones, uh, with these zones, what happens is that you use them as areas of interest. You don't take a trade because price has come to a zone. You want to be very careful with the trades you're taking. Price comes to a zone, you look for a reason to take that particular trade. If it's a support or resistance zone, a demand or supply level, an order block or not, then you're definitely going to looking for confirmation trades to boost your confidence. When I come down to a 30-minute time frame, looking at the current price action for intraday opportunities, what we can see that price already gave us a break to the downside. We had a break above here. It was a very beautiful thing to see. Smart money, you call these strong highs. Price took out these highs, then it consequently came and took out the lows over here, showing us bearish momentum. It also came and showed some intentions of breaking below this resistance level, but that was not so successful. Very so successful because of course price made a strong demand level over here. Let's just have this demand level that's currently holding price, this demand level over here. But still, that means that we can have a retracement into these levels over here. Then price can push from there and probably break below this level here. We have two targets to the downside. We have this area here that is aligned with that demand level, as you can see. So if price comes here and fails to give you a buying confirmation, then you'd want to push it all the way to the supply level at the bottom. So let me zoom this out a bit so that you can have a way bigger picture. So I can have a kind of way bigger picture of the whole chart. All right, so I hope that can fit in. Okay, that looks okay. So we have had this kind of market structure shifts to the downside with an anticipated break to the downside, and right now we are seeing prices retracing back into these breakout areas, which is a good sign because this is our area of interest or our area of liquidity that we can want to see price used to sell to the downside. So probably if price breaks above these levels here, it's going to just keep pushing to the upside, but that will entirely be dependent on what comes out of the BOE, the ECB, and the Fed because they all have some kinds of speeches to give out. This what I expect is price to come in here, probably sell and break below these areas, target this support level here, but you can see the supply around it. If this area fails to give me buying confirmations, then I'll go and look at the next or extreme general supply level that you can be able to refine to this area over here. Remember, all these are areas of interest. Price gets to them and you try to look, and then you try to look at confirmations. Confirmations are very crucial in these areas of Trump because Trump can sponsor, he can sponsor as many stop losses as possible. You blink, he sponsors a stop loss. You blink, your account is blown, courtesy of whatever is happening in the world. Yeah, so that's what can happen. So also you want to be very, very careful with what you do with the markets in these current times. So this is as far as Euro USD is concerned and GBP USD. So we saw the US dollar index. It's in a kind of a buying area of interest, though we are seeing that, of course, due to uncertainties, it has been very bearish. But if that area happens to give us a confirmation, that means the dollar index will be buying. And if it buys, if you're very peculiar, you're going to notice that even Euro USD and GBP USD are in selling areas. That shows you the correlation. If the dollar index confirms a buy, you can expect Euro USD and GBP USD to actually sell as well, because they're inversely correlated. And that's one of the reasons was why I advise you guys to start with a dollar index when you're going to trade some of these major pairs. Very, very, very important, and very, very makes your trading easy through that day for guys who trade GU, EU, even USD JPY as well. So we're going to drift away from this and then now look at some other currency pairs from other nations. Let's look at GBP NZD, very beautiful pair as well. So we did have this level here last week, and you can see price was able to come back to our trend line and sell to the downside. Slightly moved below the supply level, basically because we did below the demand level, because we did have a demand level that wasn't fully mitigated or consumed. So I'm going to adjust request. I change the colors of this. These are not working well for my eyes lately. I'm not having my glasses, if you have noticed. So that's why I'm trying to play with a black color as well. So I beg we just bear with that for today. So let's have it this way. So as I was saying, from last week, we did have a trend line that wanted price to push towards, then now sell to the downside, which happened to play out beautifully. All right, so we had that trend line, and right now we are seeing intentions for price to break above the trend line that it has actually done from here. And we did have a demand level at the bottom that definitely is supporting this buys to the upside with very beautiful momentum. And this is GPNZD, so you don't have to worry less, but you can be comfortable trading this in times like this, because we have no direct correlation, not direct, and by direct I mean the direct correlation with the dollar index, just a pound and the New Zealand pair. And if you know the New Zealand pair, it's what they call a commodity pair. So that means that the how they call it, the New Zealand economy doesn't rely a lot on some of the major trade goods that are, or that they trade with a dollar, with a US dollar. Okay, they don't directly correlate. I don't know how best to say that, but their main export generally comes from livestock. That means that even things like trade wars and things like that, they rarely affect such pairs. So we call them commodity pairs. They are an alternative to safe haven currencies. Many times people have this cram work of when there's uncertainties, tensions, I'm going to run to gold, I'm going to run to gold. Yes, you can run to gold, but gold is very volatile. Not everyone can afford to trade gold. So the question is, what other safe havens are there? We have pairs like NZD pairs, we have AUD pairs. I think we also have the Swiss franc pair, because all know Switzerland is highly reliant on probably, of course, banking, and they have the best tax policies in the world. Then they're also reliant on tourism. Now, tourism, we know Switzerland is one of the most peaceful countries in the world. Of course, when you go to Geneva as well, and they have a lot of commodities they sell there that are rarely affected by trade wars, geopolitical tension. I mean, if they're manufacturing a lot of watches, you hear Swiss made, Rolex in Switzerland, Patek Philippe in Switzerland. Literally every big brand is there manufacturing watches. There is no reason to us why bombs between Israel and Iran would kill their market. They will still ship their watches all the way to Dubai. So these are some of the pairs you should look at in times like this. GBP NZD, NZD CHF, very amazing pairs, very beautiful price action. And as you can see here, you can just see there's a trend line, 1, 2, 3 touches, drop to the downside, where an extreme demand level, all that momentum to the upside, just beautiful price action at the end of the day. So we have seen a breakout from here, opening the week. When you see this breakout, there are always two areas price can retrace to. That's why we use them as areas of interest in a daily time frame. We have this area where price breaks out. Becomes a support level. Some people call it a support, a resistance support flip. Then if price doesn't have enough liquidity around this area, it will come further inside this area of liquidity to look for lower time frame areas of interest. It could be demand levels, could be fair value gaps, it could be some level in the Fibonacci level. So it doesn't really matter what concept you trade, as long as you can align your structure perfectly. I will. So what I'm seeing here, I would like to have two approaches on this. So right now I'm seeing a fresh demand level that's currently holding price. This could definitely be able to sponsor some good trades through the day. Hopefully they can take out the high. That would be very beautiful to see. Let me just push this to this side and we can have a look at this. Okay. I can get the center of that line. So I'm going to draw a new one. Hopefully this demand level can come and push to this side, because right now we have seen the daily has shown intentions to go high with a breakout of that high, creating a higher high. because this high was low, then it's a higher high definitely. So you can have this area, and as you can see carefully, it's aligning with our resistance support flip around here where the breakout occurred, which is a good sign. It can act as a confluence. Then we are seeing this level are trying to push the upside. But if price happens not to respect this area or pushes slightly above, then comes lower, what am I going to look at? I have an extreme demand level. But usually what I like doing is demand levels. I like looking at the Fibonacci level. So I'm going to just change out these colors. So let's have this at white, I believe. Then levels, let's see. Let's have this also at white. Let's see. Okay, now beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we can have this. So I'm just checking the levels on the retracement leg. So just in case price violates this, what are the best possible areas I would really like to take my buy from before I even consider this extreme demand level? Yes, price can come back to it, and when I look at it carefully, I can see that there is a very beautiful uh support level here. So it's a flip level as well. Why I call it because it's just at the 79 level as well, which means it's within range of my OTE levels. So I would like to take a trade from here. Basically, those are the two areas I'm going to be watching out for. That aligns perfectly with my we call them the golden zone levels, the 62 to the 79 level. Some people can call them the optimum trade levels. That's just English, doesn't really matter. But that's in case price doesn't later violates this demand level. Now, right now, this is a 4-hour time frame to be specific. But now, if I'm not going to trade, wait for that time, the whole day, where would I look for the opportunities for right now? So when you look at what's happening right now here, we are seeing price did respect our level. It actually came to the extreme demand level here, which is a very beautiful thing. And of course, it was even able to respect my hidden liquidity engineering levels over there. Okay, which was nice. Then we have seen two breakouts. Usually when I have two breakouts, it shows the significance with a buy and shows the momentum is to the upside, which means I can still have more buys. This is the first breakout we had, then price broke out another level. It's okay, it's trying to break out another level on this other side. So what I would really love to see is price close above this second level. Then I'll have more confidence that later on when price retraces, hopefully in the New York session, price will give me some retracement. Now here's when I can try to consider watching this fair value gap as well, because I know the strength to the upside is coming in beautifully, especially if the ceasefire still holds, because the pound is involved in this particular pair. Then I can see something like that. But I really love to see a candlestick closure above this. In case price doesn't really break out this second high, I'll want to be more I want to be more protective. I'll refine my demand level still. So you see when I refine it further, I'm left with this a particular level here. I'm left with this particular level. You see that? I refine it to that. That will definitely tend to reduce my risk and give me a more precise entry in most cases. And this will be very, very amazing to watch as well. That's if price doesn't close above that second area. But if price closes above that second area, then I can now pay attention to the fair value gap. We have seen it on the 30-minute time frame. And if we are to refine the fair value gap, you'll have it right around here. Because to have sponsored two breakouts, it will be the PDRA that definitely price would want to watch to try to continue the bullish momentum after that big impulsive move we have seen. Now, this is a very beautiful price action on GPNZD, so you can just watch this through that day and definitely see what tends to transpire as price goes forward. So let's look a bit at, let's see, one more currency pair. Let's look a bit at one more currency pair. Okay, I haven't been trading Bitcoin for a while, so I really love to watch it and see what it gives us today. So you can see last week we did have a beautiful area here that of course a price came to the downside, and then we had a kind of a level here. I don't think let's change these colors before I worsen my eyes at this moment. So let's just come to this. So then I can first kill the RSI. All right, so let me redraw this level. So we said that we did have this trend line here initially. Then we had another trend line that was in between this over here that we're still watching. But as I was saying, that a price had pushed the downside, giving us all these breakouts, and there was a daily demand level. There was a daily demand level right over here that price didn't quite get to, but you're going to notice that price tried to come. So I usually mark up to the week, so it didn't quite get to the level, and usually price may tend to come back to try and I respect these levels here. So we can start with the support level here that price didn't quite get to. Yes, that bullish momentum coming into play as well. As you all know, in some places or in some scenarios, Bitcoin also acts as a safe haven for some people who have confidence in it. Not all investors have confidence in Bitcoin. That's why it tends to have that kind of price action like that. And we all know that sometimes it's not affected by geopolitical tension. It's just it's highly affected by how its investors tend to want to use it. That's it. When they want it to buy, then or they want to get higher prices, they will do that. Usually with crypto, they do that. They can do a short squeeze easily anytime, push it lower to get better prices, and then buy from those areas. This happens with Bitcoin a lot, and other cryptos could be Ethereum. You'll be seeing these kinds of movements happening a lot. So if I come lower here and see, I have no intentions to really look for a sell, but I can look at selling areas in terms of intraday opportunities. There's a difference in terms of intraday opportunities. So intraday opportunities, I would like to see price come to this level probably today or tomorrow. Definitely then can push the downside because I will have a pretty good confluence with that in case price happens to give me that kind of price action. Just to try and support this price action here, what I'm seeing on the chart right now, I'm going to change the color of this. I can see that price took out a previous high. So I'm going to change this to white. All right, we have that white area there. We see price took out a previous high, then came down consequently, and then it took out this low that created those highs. You see that? That's a very good sign. That area there may give us some bears, but I don't think the bears will hold so long. But if the bears actually happen to mature, then we can see a Bitcoin sell, at least till like Wednesday or Thursday, probably till like Thursday, because the week is already coming to the middle of its days. In the meantime, we are seeing that our pricing just do that there. We have an inner structure where price give us a similar pattern. Now, these patterns tend to give us some good reaction trades for intraday trading. We see a breakout to that area here. This is the high that price formed. Then we see a breakout to the downside. That was a bit impulsive from here. That's the intermediate low that price took out. Then price has come back, and we are seeing some good rejections. Remember, this is a 4-hour time frame, and we have a demand level below here that price could definitely try to target. So we're going to try to align this with our price action and just see what we can definitely try to come up with. So we have that level over there. So what we're going to go down to a 30-minute time frame and try to see if the current area we're in, because it has an inner structure, an internal structure that gives us the idea of a strong high or a shift pattern. So I want to just see if this area, if it's to hold, what would happen. So why I wouldn't be confident in looking for sales around this. So we can see the sales are coming from a very beautiful supply level on a lower time frame. I think that's just around this, which was very, very beautiful. But I believe this area is to push price to this demand over here. Then I'll be looking in for buys until price gets to my trend line. So in case we see some sales, they'll only be targeting this area in most cases, because this is the shift area I would have. Below that, I feel like the range below this is so low for me to take some opportunities in terms of Bitcoin and its volatility. I don't think if price breaks below, it will give us, okay, it can give us from here a retracement, then sell to the downside. It's not something I'll be rooting for. What I'll be rooting for is what I'm seeing directly in front of me. I have a supply level that aligns with a trend line right above here. Then I have a demand level here that in case prices to retrace, it may definitely want to retrace to these levels and then push to the upside. So it's what I'll be looking at on Bitcoin, particularly. The first idea would be price to come to this area here and then push consequently to these areas that we have here that align. Then the alternative would just be price breaks above, gets to that area and gives us some selling opportunities, hopefully all the way to these extreme demand levels that we did see in the 4-hour time frame. So it's something I really want to watch out for when it comes to Bitcoin particularly. So in the meantime, I'm going to go to one last pair as you drop in your questions that we can look at. Then we can see how the market goes through that day and hopefully see if we can get some opportunities as the market goes in. So any questions you have, kindly drop them in the section. After the next currency pair, we are going to be looking at those particular questions and see how we can get them answered. So we're going to do an index from here, which is definitely the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ. So with NASDAQ, what I love to do, I love to start with a weekly time frame, and I can see the weekly. Our new week is very, very bullish. The bulls are so strong. The bulls are so strong. So let me just first get rid of the unnecessary drawing. So you can see last week was bullish, though this week started with a very big sell to the downside. We did see that, of course, that gap down that came in on most pairs at the market open yesterday. Then we can see that it flipped bullish, which is a very bullish sign. It means that there is so much strength you can expect. Now, this strength is very controversial. Why? The NASDAQ being a tech stock, we know that very many tech stocks nowadays are militarized or they are weaponized. One of them being AI. One of them being AI, then intelligence all around tech. What does this happen? So when America gets involved in a war, or major nations get involved in a war, that basically means that a lot of military equipments that are technologized are being bought. Military weapons, AI is being paid more. That means that these things will all contribute to the US 100 or the US 100, definitely. And of course, we all know that the aircraft that the US used, the B-2 stealth bomber, is worth $2 billion. That's out of money for the military grade equipment. That means that, of course, NASDAQ will get some strength as well. So we can start, we have a breakout, a range of multiple breakouts from here, which shows that it's an impulsive move. We have up to 3 breakouts, which is a very nice sign for people looking to buy NASDAQ as well. Now, this being a daily time frame, we're going to look for intraday trades. So, of course, you know that price will retrace, but you don't foster that retracement. What you want to do is you want to just continue with the current trend. So, we're seeing this breakout is so impulsive right now. We have no significant areas or significant demand areas where we can clearly see that price going to retrace to. But what you can see here on this price action that we have, this kind of area, that means price tried to consolidate a bit here. Then we have an extreme demand level. Now, these are the only two areas right now as we speak that price could definitely uh, retrace or buy from. So the first area above will just be a continuation buy area. If price comes this far, then it will be in a retracement. So you want to take buys from those two areas. They're the two specific areas you want to watch out for based on the current price action. And this current move we have right now, we'd really love to see this candlestick close above this area here or this high. That will be very, very good. That shows you how strong the buys are. Remember, for price to break a structure, that means there's been some kind of institutional involvement because a lot of money will be needed to change just that small trend on that particular time frame. So this is the NAS 100. I would really love to see that. So we can refine this level just to minimize our risks. Remember, I told you in times like this, anyone in the global economies can sponsor a stop loss. It can be Powell in his testimony. It can be Lagarde. It can be Bailey. Anyone can sponsor your stop loss. But particularly, of course, we all know Trump is the main sponsor of stop losses in times like this. So we have this extreme demand level. If price breaks below this level, we have a very beautiful range to the downside. Price will look to fill that range in a retracement move. Those are the areas you want to watch coming into NAS 100. As far as today's price action is definitely concerned, we won't be going any further than that as far as my analysis is concerned. This is what I'm looking at today. GBP USD doesn't mean I must trade both of them. I'll trade one of them that gives me a confirmation. I'm looking at the NAS 100, and these are the zones I'm watching out for. There is this demand level here that is still very, very fresh. Definitely, price comes to it, gives me a confirmation on a lower time frame. I can look for those buys. If price breaks below, since I have a beautiful range to the downside, I'll definitely hope price can give me a retracement and a confirmation to take those sales to these extreme demand levels. That will be a very, very amazing. So I'm going to swing over to your questions and your inquiries. Then we can see how to get them answered. In the meantime, do not forget to trade with the best. We have some of the very best spreads in the market right now. So feel free to kindly create your FX account today and definitely trade with the best. Customer support 24/5 is always there to assist you in any issues you're having, any improvements you want. You can still reach out to support and tell them, I think this is not what people would like. Feel free, they'll be able to listen to you. In the meantime, are any questions that you can look at? Just a second, I get the comments in. Then we can call it a morning and look for those opportunities as the market tries to moving through the day. All right, morning thoughts on GBP and NZD. So let's go off with GBP. All right, so nice. This was from our last week's price action, our demand levels. We had some small buys here, then these buys from here, a breakout with our beautiful retest that spoke about last Tuesday, and price has never looked back from last Tuesday. I hope those guys that were on caught that amazing trade. Price has never looked back. Of course, you need a little psychology to hold the trade this far. Personally, I didn't have psychology to hold the trade this far, but it was a very amazing trade. I hope you guys were able to capitalize on it from last week's market snapshot session on Tuesday. Those of you that want to see how we came up with that trade, you can go back in the live section of the FX Spacer YouTube and try to see that video and how that analysis came up. It was very, very amazing, and it did yield beautiful results as well. So coming into today's price action, this is our daily chart. On JPY, I mentioned how we are still bullish on this pair last week, and we did see those bulls came in from continue. So we had this demand level from last week that price retraced back into, and then it bought up. For those of you that were here, remember we marked this demand level here. The price was still trying to mitigate entirely. We had a demand level down here. The price broke out, retested, and gave us this beautiful, amazing buys to the upside. And remember what we focus on, we said that price will come to create new higher highs. This was the first higher high price that created, came back down, created a higher low, and then it came up and probably now looking to create a new higher high. Remember, you'll never know where price is going to create a new higher high. What you'll definitely know for sure is that when price gives an impulsive move, it might most definitely continue respecting that and move to the upside. So right now, when I look at what's happening here, this is my breakout, and this breakout is proudly sponsored by this demand level here. So this is the demand level I want to watch to look for those buys on GBP USD. If price then take out these buys or come to this level, I'll then just wait to see the areas above and what confluences can you come up with here. You can have a trend line of a sort come from there. Then we do have a kind of supply level. So why I'm confident in price coming down here is because we have the supply level here that price may come to and definitely push to the downside into this demand level. So I would like to buy from here. On the other hand, if this area does not hold, price can break out, then retest this supply level, it becomes a demand level, supply demand flip. Then price can continue pushing to the upside until it creates the desired higher high. So these are the areas I'm looking at right now as far as this up pair is concerned. But just for context, to be careful, if you don't get a confirmation within this, don't be worried. Price still has a demand level that's beautifully fresh right below that. So these areas, you just want to watch for confirmation. They're areas of interest that you'd want to be able to watch and probably maximize on. So the other pair as far as NZDJPY. So let me just add it to my watch list in a minute. Let me just add this out to my watch list, NZDJPY. So all I know that with the JPY pairs, you can always just align the two because you know JPY is a more important pair than the New Zealand. So that means that the outlook we have had on NZD on GPJPY shouldn't be very different from this. If they're different, then you want to based on further confirmation or even definitely just stay out of the pair in most cases. So when you look at this, it's on our time frame, which is the structure I've seen is already amazing for me. It shows me that price may not be so far from what GJ is doing, which definitely gives you some kind of confidence in what you're going to do with that pair. Just allow me to take out this for a minute. Then now we look at what this pair holds. So when you look at this, we did see we had a demand level right below this side here. You see this, there's a bullish candle and a bearish candle, then price engulfs it, making this a demand level. So that means price came into it, created a new higher low definitely. And what would be the ultimate target of this? It would definitely be to come out and break out of this area. Now remember, this is the ultimate area, the previous higher high that price would like to take out to create a new higher high. So we want to see what would price have to do in terms of achieving that. Price will definitely come to a demand level, then later buy to the upside. So I was telling you that I saw the price action on this when I put the chart, and I did see it's going to align with what JPY has. So you can see we have these highs that were taken out. What would you expect? A retracement lower, then a push to the upside. So this is what's happening right now. Expect a retracement lower. So the whole of this is our buying area. So when price is still in here, you're still safe looking for a confirmation as long as price is within that range. So I'll be dropping down the 30-minute time frame and definitely try to see if I can be able to get some refinements. So currently, when you look carefully, price already at a certain demand level. I don't really love using these levels because it's above my 4-hour demand level, but can still hold price. On the other hand, what I'd be comfortable doing is definitely seeing price take out these highs, give me a retracement, then continue to the upside, because then I'll have more confidence in the structure price would have formed at that moment there. Then, of course, if price comes lower, you'd want to refine to our extreme demand level here or extreme order block if you wish. That will be this over here. Where I'll not pay attention to the fair value gap pairs because we have a wick that comes into try and rebalance that area there. So that has already been used. See, price came, rejected it, and then bought from there as well. Rejected the consequent encroachment. So right now we have a breakout from here. So I won't mind this retracement. Price then retracing here to look for those sales and come to this demand level over here, which will be very, very beautiful to watch as well. Then of course, if price doesn't do that, it will break above, retrace, and push to the upside. So that's how you want to be neutral with the market. You have areas you watch, then you have a reaction that you will take based on what price does when it comes to areas of interest. So that asks the question someone asked for NZJPY and GPJPY. Those are my outlooks that I'm looking at. So I don't know, was that the only question you're having? Taking analysis for gold. For where I'm going to kindly request you just drag that cash scroll but the further beyond. Uh, then you will see when we started from. Because the fourth pair we actually analyzed today. So you kindly just drag your live thing. Then you'll be able to watch our analysis on gold as well. So as the next question comes up, this was our analysis, this was our gold pair. Oh, wait, where was this? Did we analyze gold? We didn't analyze gold, by the way. Yeah. So yeah, the question is okay. We didn't analyze gold. So why I'm staying out of gold is because right now you're not sure what the investors are doing, but we did see these sales come in early in the morning and currently priced on a demand level where I would really, really love to take a buy, but I'm going to hold on for a confirmation. Why price can easily violate this area. In case it violates it, of course, we shall definitely look at this demand level here. You see it's fresh, very, very beautiful. So here's the thing. If this area gives us a confirmation, then you can see buys to the upside. Just in case it doesn't, we have a demand level right below this that price can consequently go to as well. So on the other hand, just to refine those levels, because it's a daily time frame, people may have difficulty watching it as well. Let's go to the 4 hour and see if we can have an area. So if you notice how I've been moving my pairs, I come from the daily, the 4 hour, 30 minutes. Then from there, I don't really like refining further. That's where I'll be watching from to wait for confirmations. So currently, when I look at this, what do I see here? I only have this order block over here. The price has basically just tapped into to push to the upside. I'm not really so confident in the buys on gold right now, but what would give me confidence is if either price comes and takes out this level, as you can see, the trend line, because you see here we had a shift to the downside and never demand level below, that can easily push price. So I'll be more comfortable if price comes and breaks out, then I can now look for the buy moves if I'm going to buy. If not, I'll like price to either come inside this area properly, then give me a confirmation on definitely a 30-minute time frame as well. Anything below this, we have this bigger demand level that we can refine. So this is a fresh level we have inside. The levels you'll be watching for as possible targets and buying areas as well, or a buy above that. But in case price comes here, it can give us a sell confirmation. If it does that, it's definitely going to take out this demand level here, break it and push to the downside. So 30 minutes, you can just need to refine these levels as well. So if we find this, we can have that demand level up to that area there, and then the one below, because gold is a heavy pair, so you want to have a very big area you're watching out for. So when you look at this, you can also refine it all the way to these demand levels over there on the 30-minute time frame. Those will be our areas of interest that we really want to watch and probably see if price can come to them, give us confirmations, then we can get paid for the day as well. So the last question I'm going to be taking is based on your analysis today. If you had to choose one trade between Euro USD, USD JPY, which would it be? I would definitely choose USD JPY. Definitely. Why? Japan is kind of not so involved in a lot of conflicts around the world. They stay safe. That's basically Japan. So I'm more comfortable trading a Japanese pair than the USD JPY than Euro USD. Why? Because the Euro, on top of having things to do with a lot of inflation insecurities, interest rate insecurities, and then there's still that trade deal pending with the US, it tends to be tricky. But the fact that investors love the Euro USD, if the ceasefire happens to hold, then of course the ECB, the European Commercial Bank, president is very confident in the data figures. Then you can definitely trade Euro USD if you want that money. But right now is the time of deleveraging. You want to be safe in the markets. So we won't be going any further beyond that point. I would like to remind you once again that we have a lot of study material for you on the FX Pesa YouTube channel from different strategies at different concepts. Are you a price action trader, smart money trader, an ICT trader? Are you trading at the RSI, the EMAs? The videos are all there in the playlists. They'll be very amazing. For those of you looking for some motivation or you're not a movie guy, we have the Bullish Banter, very amazing podcast that is aimed to bring stories of people who have made it out in trading, in their different struggles and how they're able to navigate them, and what are those simple tricks that they used to gain their edge in trading. So feel free to watch these amazing episodes of the Bullish Banter podcast. And other than that, we do have the Trade Talk, other masterclass in Tanzania on the 28th. Very beautiful. Make sure you're there. Robert will be there. Prudence will be there. We do have a Finlit event tomorrow here in Uganda. Looking for some investment advice, looking for some tips on how you can do the right saving, right budgeting, how to spot the right opportunities to start a business or scale up. Tomorrow is your day for Uganda as well. In Kenya, we have The online session is very amazing. And of course, there will be more events that will be coming up. Just make sure you're checking on the website and the links in bio. And until next time, have a nice day and have a peaceful day as well.